without any further ado, before we go to break, I want to bring in our guest for tonight, a young man who drives a 55 Junior. He is Devin Walker. Devin, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Well, hey, I'm just finding a frog hair split 3 ways and sanded. But I tell you what, Devin, hang with us for just a second. We're going to step out for a commercial. We'll come right back, and we'll be talking about Devin Walker right here on Performance Motorsports Network. All right, I tell you what, welcome back. And joining us on the show, as we introduced right before the break, Mr. Devin Walker. And as I said before, that I know of, there's no relation. Devin, we're not related, are we?
No, sir, I don't think so.
All right. Well, from down around Ocala, Florida, man, what got you started racing?
Well, my dad's been racing for 11 years now, and I've missed just a couple races, and I just love watching racing.
All right, so it's a family thing, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, I know that when I've heard it said many times that when families race together, they stay together. And I know that for a lot of people, it has kept quite a few of us out of trouble over the years. Do you find that that's something that makes your bond with your parents and your family stronger, is all of you racing together and being together all the time?
Well, yes, sir. I mean, we're out at race track every weekend, and we never really, apart from each other, it's actually really great. Oh,
yeah. Now, one thing when I had a friend of mine tell me about you, and he called me and he asked me, he says, man, he says, I just seen this kid run down here, and this kid drives the absolute wheels off a race car. He said, are you and him related? Well, man, you drive the wheels off this thing.
Thank you.
Now the real trick to the thing is off for a little while. You're still in high school, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, you might be out for the summer, but you haven't graduated high school yet. Now, when you first started racing, did your dad offer you a lot of guidance, or did you kind of try to get it on your own? Devin, are you still there?
I'm sorry, my phone messed up.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. No, I was just wondering, when you first started, did your dad give you a lot of guidance, or did you kind of get it on your own?
Well, he helped me out as much as he could, and, you know, racing's one of the things you just got to get behind the wheel and, you know, do what you got to do.
Okay, now, I want you to tell everybody, and I know with every other race car driver in the whole wide world, this is a little something that it's a statement that you make. And that's with spoiler slogans. Everybody puts a little something on their spoiler that kind of says something about them. Okay? Devin, tell us what's on your spoiler.
Well, on my spoiler is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, and I'm a Christian, and I believe that 100%.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, it's I am a Christian as well, and that was one of the things that really impressed me, was that you're willing to display your faith. It's not something that you hide, and when you got things like that on your race car, you can't help but go fast. Now, do you use your racing as kind of a way to open the door to spread the word about Jesus to other people?
Yes, I just use it, yes, sir, as like a witness, and I hope people realize it and hope they come to meet Jesus.
Well, now, I know that when I first started looking at your videos, one thing that kept standing out in my mind was I kept seeing this name Lasowski on the side of your car. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, on my 11th race, I won, and he happened to be there that night. He jumped on board, and he branded me. I mean, I can't thank him enough for that. He keeps opening doors for me, and I'm just happy to have him.
Well, who we're talking about is Danny the Dude Lasowski, sprint car driver. and he just happened to be down at the track where you run one night and liked the way you drove, or how did that all come about?
Well, I was actually sitting in the lineup, and he come over and helped me get strapped in, and I didn't know who he was. And right after he walked off, my grandpa walked up to finish helping me.
Okay. Well, I know that just the other day we happened to have some common friends. I talked to Mr. Lasowski about you, and he told me that he said, he said, I was down there, he said, and I looked and I seen this little bitty feller come driving up to the starting line in a car that, he said, I thought, well, he's pulling the car up there for his dad. He said, surely he's not going to drive that. He said, he looked like it'd fit 4 of him in that seat. And said the next thing you know, he looked and you was strapping in and you was getting ready to go. He said, and then you proceeded to drive the wheels off of it. And he said he just felt that he had to put you going in the right direction, and he wanted to shake your hand. He said you really impressed him with that. What did you think when Danny the Dude Lasowski come walking up and introduced himself?
At the moment, I really didn't know what to think. I mean, it was kind of crazy to me at the moment.
Now, in your racing, what are your goals? I mean, do you plan to keep running the class that you're running, or do you want to move up?
My goal is NASCAR. I mean, I really want to make it in the NASCAR, but I would settle for the well late models.
Well, how about would you settle for a sprint car?
I would. I mean, I'd drive a sprint car too if Daddy let me.
Well, I mean, you got a guy like Danny the Dude Lasowski in your corner. You might hit him up one day and say, hey man, let me try that.
Yes, we've thought about it a few times, and I want to make it through racing. I mean, we're in a Holly stock right now, and we're wanting to move up next year to a Sportsman or late model. We just got to see where God puts us.
There you go. Now, have you run any this weekend?
Yes, sir, I ran.
Where did you run and how did you do?
I ran in Ocala in the 700 freestyle wind race, and I won. You
won? Well, man, I tell you what, you really are on a roll now then, ain't you?
That's number 4 for this year.
That's your 4th one this year?
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm telling you what. Now, how many races have you entered this year?
11.
Okay, so you're almost batting 500 there. How many top 10s have you had?
I've had 2 top 10s because of breakdowns, and then the rest of them top 5s.
Well, there you go. I mean, how many people do you have working on your car?
Well, I have my grandpa, my dad, and me mostly.
Now I know that there's a lot of people I know from my years in racing that you can't get to where you're at in any kind of racing without a lot of people there to help you, pushing you through. Who has inspired you the most in your racing career?
Well, my dad has inspired me the most. I mean, he's been racing for that long, and I just fell in love with it.
When you got out there the first time, and the first time they dropped that checkered flag, was it all you thought it would be, or was it more?
Oh, it was more. Yeah. First night I finished 4th, and I knew I wanted to do it right then.
Well, what was the feeling like the first time you DNF'd?
Yeah, I can't really remember it because it was 3 years ago, but it was an amazing feeling.
Oh yeah, I know. It's
DNF.
that I remember the first time I DNF'd a race, and it was over something really stupid. I mean, just like a 37-cent part that went bad and ended my night of racing. That Now I've met his dad a time or two. It's been a few years ago, Buzzy Rudiman, and I know he was a real kick in the butt. I mean, he was as funny as could be. And they say that David's a lot like his daddy.
Yeah, so he actually reminds me a lot of him. I've seen Mr. Buzzy at Ocala almost every couple weekends.
Do you have anybody that you really like to race against?
I like racing against my dad.
Have you raced against him?
Yes, sir.
Who's got the better record?
I won the last race he raced against me in Ocala.
And where did he finish?
Second.
Well, father-son 1-2. Man, you can't beat that with a stick. That right there is pretty neat. Now, who do you have sponsoring your car?
Well, I have Dan Osofsky, as you know, but Team Full Throttle is a performance coaching program out of North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
And his name is Mr. Tom, and he's been coaching me for about the past 2 years, and he's been a huge help to me. But I really recommend him. He's really good.
All right.
And I got Champion Race helmets. Sorry. He's been a great help to me. And Mr. BJ keeps up with my racing, and he actually knows where I'm doing everything. And his helmet's only $200. They're just like a Simpson. I mean, they're real nice helmets. But
Oh yeah, well you got to take care of them. You got to take care of them helmets because they take care of you.
yes, sir.
Well, you
I got
know,
one
Devin,
that's
I'll tell you
kinda
what, buddy. You've got a website too. Tell everybody what your website is.
It is www.devinwalker55.com.
There you go. Go check it out. He's got a couple of videos on there. He's got some information about him. Pretty neat little site. He's also got a Facebook page. You can check that out too. Devin, I tell you what, buddy, I want to thank you for joining us on the show tonight. Man, it's been a ton of fun, and keep us up to date on all them wins as you keep rolling them things off, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, man. Appreciate that, and thank you for joining us on the show. Mr. Devin Walker, as much as I hate to say it, I don't think we're related. Driver of the number 55 Junior, down around Ocala, Florida. Boy, I tell you what, look him up on YouTube. This kid has got talent, okay? He's got the skills to pay the bills. I'm telling you what, he has got his drive is what gets me. I mean, he is just, when you see him start from say second or third row back, and the tenacity in which he attacks each and every position, this kid is wide open from the time they drop the flag to the time they drop the other one. But go look him up on YouTube and check him out, and I think you will be surprised. Saturday night up at Cleveland Speedway in the Crate Late Models, it was Brian Courtney out of Knoxville taking the win over Jimmy Elliott. Bobby Ritchie Jr. was third. Brian Pritchard was fourth. Michael